You know what time it is. It's 6:02 in the morning, and that means it's time for some drugs. Whoa, 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 whoa. You don't need to be rolling around like that. Chill, fam. Uh-huh. Healthy serving. What do I always say? A gallon a day keeps the kidney stones away. Oh. Ew. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't done that in a long time. Normally I just mix it in water like a normal human.
Bitch, you guessed it. You was right.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlefish. It's your boy Whitefish-Willy, and we are back with a new video. The other day, I felt very nostalgic because I realized the very first Matt vs. Willy lifting video came out over 5 years ago now. It got me thinking, you know, it has been a long time since I have filmed any kind of lifting video. So, what I have decided to do is do a little lifting series here for you guys and for myself. So we're gonna do a lifting video today. And I'm going to send it over to future editing me to explain this a little bit more and how this is going to work. Alright guys, so I got this nice little spreadsheet here for you of how I want this to work. So obviously this is this first part is going to come out in January here. Now I will let you guys know I filmed that all at the end of December, so that's technically the beginning of January 2026, blah, 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 whatever, right? But this is going to be a three-part series. Obviously, this first part is coming out in January of 2026. I plan to retest all of these different categories in July, end of June, beginning of July of this year, and then retest everything again at the end of December in 2026. And we'll be able to track and see how much I have gained, how much I've lost, this, that, and the other, right? So we have all the categories that I'm keeping track of. Obviously, squat, bench, deadlift, SBDT, which is just short for squat, bench, deadlift total. So the total weight that I can lift between the squat, bench, and the deadlift. Body weight, broad jump, vertical overhead press, push-ups by 3, pull-ups by 3, dips by 3, and what I mean by 3 is just how many I can do in a total of 3 sets, right? And then plank, how long can I plank, and then my mile time. So I will keep track of everything, and then at the end of the video I will bring this back up with the totals for everything for January of 2026. Then we will go over the goals that I have, and these are goals that I'm setting to try and hit by July. So I'm going to go over the goals at the end of the video, and we'll talk a little bit more about what happens if I don't reach my goals at the end of the video as well. But for now, I'm going to stop yapping, so let us get back into the video. Alright, so first thing we got to test here is broad jump. You can't see it, but I do have a mark on the floor where I'm starting from every time, and then I, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to keep the tape measure in my pocket and then measure my back foot. So first jump was 7'9", and I'm taking my farthest jump for these, giving myself 3 attempts, and then I'm taking my farthest jump. And second jump is 8'4", and like I said, I'm measuring from my back foot, so whichever foot is the farthest back, that's the one I'm measuring from. And third jump here, as I wind up, jump, and give it a measure. It's going to be 8'1", so my farthest jump for broad jump was 8'4". Next we got vertical. I've got a little tape mark on the wall as high as I can reach, and then I'm jumping up and sticking a piece of tape as high as I can jump, and then measuring the distance in between. I do need to find a better way to do this for the next video, as my first jump there's 19 inches. I do need to find a better way to test this because I feel like this is not very accurate. So I'll have to figure that out. Second jump is 20 inches, and then the third jump here. And this is that right there is why I need to find a different way, because the tape stuck to my hand. So I need to find a better way for that for July. But third jump's gonna come in here at 21 inches, and I'm taking my highest jump for this, which is 21 inches for vertical. Now we jump into squat. This is just some warm-up sets that I'm doing here, and I'll put my full lift that I did, my full set, at the end of each one. So first one I did 185 by 3, then well, actually that wasn't my first one. I did when I did these, I did 2 sets of 5, 2 sets of 3, and then I started 1-repping from there. So my first 1-rep here is 205, and I will also let you guys know there were a couple times where I was doing 1-reps and my camera just like either didn't record or I forgot to hit record. So there are some clips that are missing, but like I said, at the end I will put in my entire split that I did for each max. So final squat right here, 235 by 1. I do need to work on the form a little bit. I need to get a little bit lower, but that's 235 on the squat there. And here is my split that I did for the 1-rep day for squat. Now we got day 2 here. Day 2 was bench. We started with bench. And there's a lot of missing videos for this one here, because again, either I forgot to hit record or my camera stopped recording. But we got 135 by 3, followed by 155 by 3. I do need to, for bench, I need to work on not having, you can see my hips bouncing a little bit there every time I push up. I got to work on that a little bit more as time goes on. We got 175 for 1, pretty easy, felt pretty good, and then we jump right to 195 by 1. If I had a spotter, I probably could have pushed it a little bit more, but I didn't have one, so 195 is going to be our 1-rep for bench, and here's my split that I did that day for the bench press. We also, that same day, did our push-ups by 3, so again, in these push-ups, by 3, I am doing as many push-ups as I can in 3 sets. Feel free to count them if you want, but that first set right here, I ended up doing 20 push-ups. We jump over into the second set, and my pecs were absolutely fried at this point because I had just, maxed my bench, so the push-ups were a little bit more difficult. But set 2, I ended up getting 15, and then we jump over into the third set, and I do need to be a lot more conscious of my form and whatnot, because some of these I feel like I probably could have got a little bit lower on, but like I said, my pecs were clapped in this. So last set we finish out with what's it gonna say, with 11, so that brings our total for the 3 sets to be 46 push-ups in 3 sets. Now we move to day 3. Day 3 we're doing some deadlift. First set here on video is 215 by 3, and by the way, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I'm doing sumo deadlift for these. I just feel like sumo is a lot safer than conventional and will be more beneficial for the muscles that I'm trying to work. I just like sumo over conventional, so all of these lifts are sumo deadlift versus conventional deadlift. And here comes the 265 by 1. Absolutely beautiful form. Shout out myself for the beautiful form on that. 265 ends up being my 1-rep for deadlift, and here is my splits for that. I did try 275, but I did not get it at all. Next up, we got plank. This one, I was really hoping this day that I was going to be able to clear like 2.5 minutes, and it turns out I actually suck at planking. So I got a time lapse here for you guys so that it's not so boring. But I end up going down right around the 134, 135 mark. I gave myself the benefit of the doubt and said 135 for the plank. Not anywhere near as good as I wanted it to be, but oh well. And then I also ran the mile, ran my mile time in the same day that I tested the deadlift and the plank, and I got this time lapse for you guys too.
And one thing that I will say is I absolutely hate running on treadmills because I feel like I can't dictate the speed myself. I feel like I'm limited to, the speed that the treadmill is making me go. So I feel like I can run a faster mile right now, but I was just extremely limited to, the speed that the treadmill is allowing me to go. So once July comes around, I feel like I'll be able to run outside, and I feel like I'll be able to run a lot faster of a mile time. But after all of that, my mile time ended up being 8 minutes and 43 seconds. I feel like I can do a lot better than that. Day 4, final day here, we got overhead press, 85 by 3 as a part of the warm-up sets. Felt pretty solid. And overhead press, remember, it's different than shoulder press in that, or maybe, I don't know. I'm not using my legs at all for this, right? I'm just using my upper body and trying to not push with my lower body at all as we hit 110 for 1. And then we jump over to the next one, which is 115 for 1. And I honestly did not think I was going to get this. And I was able to, and got to work on the form because I did stumble forward a little bit on this, but excited to hit 115 for 1 on this. So that's our 1 rep for overhead press, and then this is the split that I did that day. All right, and next up on the docket, we got the pull-ups by 3. This is something I absolutely need to improve on because my pull-ups are not good. I got them time-lapsed here so that you guys don't have to sit here and watch me struggle to do pull-ups, but I have never been good at pull-ups, so this is an area that I definitely want to improve on, and I need to work on my form, and it just... In 3 sets, it was actually pretty pathetic how many I was able to do. I was only able to do 11 pull-ups in 3 sets, so I really need to work on that. And then finally, we got the dips. This is another thing that I have never been good at, and this is another exercise that I would really like to improve on over the next couple of months and over the next year. Like I said, I've never been good at dips, and in 3 sets, you'll see how many I was able to do here in a second. But in 3 sets, I was only able to do 10 reps, and I really need to improve on that. But now, let's talk about all of the results. All right, so here we have our results sheet. As we can see, squat, we hit 235 for 1. Bench, we hit 190 for 1. Deadlift, we hit 265 for 1. And that brings our SBDT, our squat, bench, deadlift total to 690 pounds. Pretty solid for the month of January, especially considering the fact that I have kind of struggled with my consistency in the gym the past year or so. So for just kind of starting to get back into it, I'm pretty happy with all of those. Definitely lots of room for improvement, but for now, I'm pretty happy with that. I did not record any footage of my body weight, but I did weigh myself the mornings, or right before I would go to the gym, and I always lift in the mornings. So I weighed myself in the morning every day before I went and worked out, and I was typically around the 164, 165 mark. So that's why we got 164 in there. I just averaged, what I weighed each morning before I went and lifted. So that's why, the body weight is an average of 164. Broad jump obviously was 8 feet 4 inches. Vertical was 21 inches. Overhead press for the 1 rep was 115. Push-ups by 3 in 3 sets, I was able to do 46. Pull-ups by 3 in 3 sets, I was able to do 11. Dips by 3 in 3 sets, I was able to do 10. Plank time was 135, and mile time was 8:43. Some things I was really happy with, some things not so much. Obviously, like I said, wasn't really happy with my plank time or my mile time, or my pull-ups or my dips. But, for the most part, like I said, for just kind of starting to get back into lifting, I think these are all good base numbers to go off of. And speaking of that, let's now talk about my goals for when I retest everything in July. All right, so really quick here, here are all of my goals all the way over to the right. When we retest in July, I'm hoping to be able to squat 275, bench 215, deadlift 295, which would ultimately then bring my SBDT to 785. I'd like to stay around the 165 body weight, so just kind of plus or minus 5 pounds. If I'm in between 160 and 170, that's kind of where I want my body weight to be. Broad jump, I'd like to improve to 9.2. That's a pretty aggressive improvement, but I think I could do it. Then for vertical, I'm hoping to add 5 inches to get up to a 26-inch vertical. Again, also kind of aggressive, but I plan to incorporate a lot of plyometric workouts into my lifts in the next coming months, so I'm really hoping that that'll help me improve my jumping skills, because realistically, at the end of the day, I would really like to be able to dunk a basketball, because I've never been able to do it, and I would like to be able to. Overhead press, I'd like to be able to do a plate, so 135. And then push-ups by 3, I'd like to be able to do 60 in 3 sets. Pull-ups, I'd really like to make a big improvement on and be able to do 30 in 3 sets. And then same thing for dips. I'd like to be able to do 30 dips in 3 sets. Maybe aggressive, but I feel like if I just do those workouts more often and more consistently, I will be able to up those numbers, pump those numbers up, if you will. And plank, I'd like to be able to plank for 3.5 minutes in July. And the mile time, again, I think I can really make a lot of improvements on this when I'm able to run outside and be able to control my own speed and whatnot. So I would like to be able to run less than 7 minutes and 30 seconds for my mile time. Now the catch here to all of these goals and whatnot that I have for July of 2026 here is, obviously, I need to hold myself accountable and push myself to be able to reach these goals. And if you guys are familiar with the original Matt versus Willy lifting video, whoever lost had some kind of a punishment. So my plan here is to obviously keep track of my goals that I have here. And then when we retest in July, if I'm able to complete a goal, then great, that puts me in the clear. And if I'm not able to complete a goal, then obviously that's bad, right? So we'll be keeping track of which goals I'm able to accomplish and which ones I'm not. So it'll be like in this case, I have 13 things that I'm tracking, right? So if I can be above 50% on that, then that will be considered a win. So for example, right, if I go 7 for 13 on accomplishing goals, that's a win. So I won't have to face some kind of a punishment. Whereas if I only go 6 for 13, that's completing less than half of my goals. Then I will have some kind of punishment for myself that I will incorporate into the video that comes out in July. I don't know what the punishment will be yet. You guys can give me ideas in the comments below if you want. But I'm not 100% sure what that punishment will be if I don't accomplish more than 50% of my goals. And if I get above 50% of my goals, I just, get a nice little pat on the back. That's my reward, is not being punished, essentially. But that's going to do it for me. Relatively long yap session from me today. So if you guys made it this far, I'd just like to say thank you guys for watching. And I will reward you guys right now, if you made it this far, with some video of me tweaking out in my truck off of the pre-workout.
I can feel them. I can feel them. They're crawling under my skin. The bugs are crawling under my skin. The numbers, Mason. What do they mean, Mason? I'm ready to introduce a little chaos.